Going. All right, so Friday night, when I saw Friday Night Lights, I mean, always thought Riggins was the showiest role for the people.
Showiest?
The show, like the best. This is the best role on the show. So my question is, did you think when you took that role, did you have that feeling about it, and did you think it would ever lead you to like Mars?
No, I did not think it would lead me to Mars, but I think anyone that knows FNL very well, they know that I read for Street first.
Yeah.
And then the real role that I wanted was Riggs. I just personally felt more closer to Riggs than Street, and I think it just played out so well because Porter killed it. Everyone was really truly the people they portrayed. But I loved playing him, man. I think that show will always be in my heart. I loved it, and it was such a springboard to this kind of stuff. But I mean, even struggling in New York and playing this guy or playing Riggs, and I never set out to be on this path of like, when you're struggling, you're not like, oh man, one day I'm going to lead a $200 million movie and work with these Oscar winners, and wasn't that what put me through it. It was just really just about the work, and I loved portraying these guys.
And speaking of Friday Night Lights, so you're sort of synonymous with football, and then a couple weeks ago you have 2 Super Bowl commercials. was that cool? Was that weird? What was that like?
It's all the above. I think I was in Indonesia working on Savages, so I couldn't watch it. I think it was just a special moment for me, just in the sense of like, obviously it's never going to happen again in my life to have 2 Super Bowl commercials, and for what it's been to get to this point, just a cool feeling. Yeah. Just a really cool kind of full circle moment, and to get the emails that I got from people that I respect, and just some people taking the piss out of me, saying that, I'd actually like to watch the game. It's not, the Kitsch show. Or how much money I personally put in for these commercials to be on there. That was cool. So, I got the whole spectrum of all those guys sending me those kind of notes. But that was a great moment for me. Yeah, it was cool.
Now, going from, they shot Friday Night Lights, you guys shot it like real gritty, real handheld, real sort of,
no marks, rehearsals.
Right, yeah, you just went for it. Two movies where it cost multi-$100 million this year. What's something that people wouldn't think of that is maybe different or not different? Is there something between contrasting those things?
I think at the end of the day, it does boil down to, of course, there's the spectacle in both, but at the end of the day, it is truly character-driven stuff, and that relates solely to FNL. That was first and foremost, and with Stanton first and foremost. Yeah. The heart and that script is everything, and then the effects, and that's something you just don't have control over. Yeah. So for me personally, it's that as well. I wouldn't have taken on John Carter if it was just an action film. What about I think it says so much to you got all these guys that can carry a film on their own right. A Dominic West, a Strong, a Defoe. There's so many more. Purefoy, Lincoln, all of them. The list is incredible. It says so much to the film that these guys would come in, chip away, and be these supporting guys, and I was so spoiled with that.
Yeah. You seem to have a great relationship with Stanton. I heard
we
hate
each other.
No,
it's all a show.
Can you talk about that? Your sort of not even your working relationship, maybe that, but also just personally, like your director, star, friend. What was that like?
Awesome,
and how did that develop? Was it just
awesome.
Like you first met him at the audition?
First meeting was a general meeting of just like him talking about Carter, and it was like floor to ceiling prep, and I walked in there, and I think we were, I was a huge fan of Wally and him and his work, and I think he was a big fan of Riggs and the show in general, and so right off there was I think just a mutual respect, and with that comes trust, and there's so much trust there with us. And I think that's from there it just blossomed to what it is now. And the guy, for what he's accomplished, to have zero ego and to be incredibly grounded his energy towards film, and of course JC is so infectious.
Mm-hmm.
So that was. I mean, there's so many reasons why, but he's an amazing guy.
And what were some of the important things that you and he talked about with the character of John Carter that you sort of internalized as you were shooting? Now, were there things that you had to really keep in your mind that you guys, or just the character?
Yeah, I think a lot of it, and I tend to go dark.
Mm-hmm.
I love playing that kind of stuff, and I think I really latched on to the loss of what he gave up, or what the guilt that John carries for the majority of the film,
mm-hmm.
of the loss of his family, and
mm-hmm.
so that's what I latched on in prep, and so I tend to just play the darkness of it, and which I don't think was would have been a mistake, but I think he really kind of shined a light on the sense of like, if there is a moment for it to be lighter, make it lighter.
Mm-hmm.
Because it'll allow those moments that you love to dig into darker. So I think that was a big kind of moment for me, that happened, within the first month, because I was really, playing him so dark, and I love that part of him, but you also earn your beats that way too.
And you work with a lot of performance capture in this movie. Yeah. You're not in it, but everybody else is. There seems to be a lack of respect for performance capture. Everybody thought Andy Serkis deserved an Oscar nomination. Didn't even really get much consideration. Do you think that's going to change in the future? Do you think it's like a viable form?
I think it could have its own thing,
mm-hmm.
its own kind of. I mean, especially with the way movies are being made. I mean, it's really endless what we can do now. It's really borderless, and so. I think maybe if it had its own category, I don't think it should be in with a leading actor.
Sure.
You know what I mean? But
yeah.
If for it to have its own category, I think, I don't know, man. There's so many variables that go into it.
Yeah.
I know Willem was fucking phenomenal as Tars.
Yeah.
And, he helped me out so much. So I mean, yeah, I think it could have its own thing. Yeah.
Okay. And I guess the last thing. Knock on wood, you guys get to make a sequel. What were you looking forward to most, and what would you carry over from the character? Like, how would you build on it?
Looking forward to most in what, the sense of if we did a sequel?
Yeah.
Man, it's such an origin story for JC, this one, and we're gonna be, and there's always you're always trying to ground yourself within the first weeks of any film, of the tone of this and the character, of where you're at, all that kind of stuff. But now we have it.
Yeah.
This sequel, we're landing and we're going full tilt. So that's what I'm excited to do, and you guys will know where John is, so there's no explaining the backstory anymore. So, and I know where Stanton's going with it, and it's pretty great.
Do you think he'll come back to direct it?
Him?
Yeah. Even though
I won't do it unless it's him.
Okay. Well, there you go. All right. Cool. Thank you, Taylor.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you.